Hey everybody, Rick from Tremor Outdoors. Today we're going to be doing a really cool install courtesy of our friends down at F-150 LEDs, and it's going to be the Gen 3 LED Raptor Grille kit. Really excited about these. Now, the Raptors come with 3 lights on their grill from the factory. I've actually opted to go with the 5 LEDs. I think it's going to really look cool along the front of the grill, really set it off and separate it from being a Raptor wannabe. So I really like the way that this is going to look. What's really cool about it is, in conjunction to that, they sent me their headlight accessory connector. If you're like me, the less cutting into factory wires, the better. And with this system here, I'm going to show you how to go about doing it. This is going to connect to the back of our headlight, and we can wire into it there. And it means that we don't have to cut into any wiring harnesses, and that makes Rick a happy boy. So without further ado, let's get at it, and we'll see how it goes. So let's walk through what we have for equipment here. We have the wiring harness, which is going to be the quick connect, which we will plug into the back of the headlight, and the headlight will plug into it. Then you can use these for connecting your power and your ground. If you look, one of them has red, and this one has got your black. So that's going to be your ground wire. So what's really cool about these is that you can actually use them for several different applications, and that really makes it a lot easier than having to splice into wiring harnesses. So it looks like here you can fit 2 on this one and 2 grounds on that one. So you could do 2 different accessories, and then you can also do the same on your other side headlight. So you would actually have access to 4. So for example, if you're going to do like the Paladin light bar and have the back illumination lighting, you could wire it into there and then have your bright lights for the Paladin bar go off of one of your upfitter switches. Moving on, we've got a whole whack load of cable here. And I've tried to lay this out now. This is obviously going to be where this is going to be where your fuse is and your power connects that are going to go into that harness. And it comes down to 3, and these are essentially water and dust proof kind of a sealers for plugs. And if you look, you got 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 are going to go into one of them into your light, and then this pigtails into 2 different plugs here, and the same thing for this one here. So there's 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. So that's how you're going to power up the lights. Looks like it's going to be pretty straightforward. The only concern that I have, and I have to figure this out, is on either end of the grill where position 1 and 5 will be, the openings look a little bit smaller, and so I'm not sure about the fitment on this. We'll have to test it out. But I mean, what a great looking light. They've done a lot of enhancements to it, and they've even done some enhancements to the adhesive on there as well. So it's going to really stick well. All right, let's go see how these are going to line up. So before we get started on too much, one of the things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to remove this little valance. It's going to make it easier for us just to access things underneath here. To do that, you're going to need to take out upholstery clips. Get yourself one of these upholstery kits. It's going to make your life a lot simpler, and you're not going to break stuff, and use that to pull these off. So I just lifted that up just a little bit so we can get the tool underneath the lip of it. There we go. Yep, the metal tool really works well in the tight spots as well. Wow, that's easy with this one. And we missed one here too. There we go. All right, let's move that to the side. Good. All right, so show you what we're working with here. Since we removed the valance, you can kind of see down into here. You can see I can easily come through here now, pass wires through from where we're going to be doing the install, and it'll make it a lot easier. All right, I've gone ahead and I've marked the positioning with the green tape. So above the green tape is the positionings where we're going to install each of the 5 marker lights. I'm going to do a test fit to see how this is going to fit into this slot, because it's funny because this light looks like it's a little too wide, but I'm sure they thought of all this. Okay, so I have some issues here. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions for the lights to go in. The problem is that position 1 and 5 are a smaller fit. I cannot get this to recess. Like if I look at this one on beside it, I can recess it how I want. There is a pocket here at an angle of the molding of the grille, and it's interfering with the back corner here. This end, no problem, but I can't kick this back end in. So if I put this in place and I go to adhere it, you can see that the marker light's going to be stuck at a goofy position. It's actually not going to adhere how I need it to adhere, like on the neighboring ones. All right, I've made some modifications here. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to try something completely different. The lights will fit in this spot, this one, this one, and this one. I really don't want to go with the 3. To me, it's too much of a Raptor clone. I want to do something that's distinct and different. And so I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see how that goes. But definitely can't get these into the corners in position 1 and 5. It will not fit. So we move on, we get new strategies. You're going to want to get out your alcohol wipe to clean this down. Make sure that there's no road grease, dirt, etc. that's going to stop it from adhering. So let's get this opened up, get into these little openings and give them a good cleaning. So get right in there. Okay. Watch your fingers because that plastic is sharp on the backside. These little wipes work really well. And you know what, folks? It's all about customization. That's why we do this, right? We don't do it to copy other people. We do it for our own unique look. And I haven't seen anybody with this light pattern done on a Tremor. So I'm kind of excited about it, actually. I don't consider it as settling. I consider it as resolving a problem. All right, we'll let that dry, and then we'll start running the lights. I actually think that's gonna look pretty cool. All right, the next step, we're gonna put these in place. So let's peel that red tape off. Now, from what Nick from F-150 LEDs was saying is that this new adhesive really sticks well. So do your best to line it up and get it right on the first shot. Is essentially the gist that I got from the video he did talking about these. Always fun trying to peel off this red tape, by the way. There we go. All right. Try and get it so it's lined up where we want it. Reasonably flush. And just give it some pressure there. I'm just going to carefully, very carefully use this just to give a little bit of leverage. I am not pulling up on it. I'm just using it to shim it a little bit to get that adhering. Yeah, that ain't moving. That looks good. This one we're going to want to get it centered. It's important. Okay, there we go. So what I like to do is just kind of guide it back here using the cable to help me get it back into place. Try and find about center. And then now we'll just adhere it, like so. And again, just going to use this tool, add gentle pressure, nothing hard, we're not going to crank on it. It's just basically adding minimal pressure to get that to adhere. So what we've got done here is I've run the wires following the lines of the grill up to the back, and coming out the top looks a little bit of a mess right now because all that wire is going to get run from the power lead, so that doesn't belong there. But looking at these other wires that are coming up through from the grill, we've zap strapped them on, running them over here, and this is where we're ending, and we're connecting our lines. What I'm going to do right now, before I get too far ahead with the wiring here, I'm going to jump over and remove the bolts that hold the fender well cover in place so we can access the back of the headlight. So this is a 7mm socket right here, and there's one down here. Okay. I think this one here has to come off, actually. Yep. There we go. 3. All right. So if we look up in here, you can see there's the lighting up in there.
Back over the tire to give us access here to the headlight assembly. Because it can be difficult to see what's happening here up in the wheel well lining for filming, we thought it might make sense to show you what it looks like first on a disconnected headlight assembly. So this is the exact same headlight assembly that is currently on the truck, obviously disconnected. And the connector that we're going for is located here. So this is your side marker light connector. So you're gonna reach over this hump here when you're reaching into your wheel well liner, and then we're gonna grasp this connector, and the counterclockwise turn is gonna loosen it and allow us to remove it from the assembly. Then it will hang here and make it easy for us to make our connections. Now we're ready to remove our side marker connector, just like we showed you on the disconnected headlight. So I'm gonna reach above this protrusion and then grasp it, and with a counterclockwise turn, it will release from the headlight assembly. And then what we're gonna do is push down on this tab to remove the side marker unit here. And then this is where we're going to plug in our easy headlight adapter. So that side will click in. You'll feel it once it's fully seated. Now we're gonna take this light connector and do the same thing. Hear it click and play, same, feel it. So now we're ready to reinstall this side marker light back into the assembly. And instead of a counterclockwise turn, it'll be a clockwise turn to lock it in place.
So there's what I'm working with. Right there. We got that pulled off. We got to separate that clip to connect the harness. Well, that's got that installed. There was some challenges with it. It's like I couldn't actually get the red slider lock to engage for whatever reason. Tried and tried and tried, couldn't do it. We're just gonna tuck these wires. Once we connect our power and ground, we'll tuck them back up in, get them secured so they're not rattling, put back our fender well cover, and then we should be cooking with gas here. So we're gonna connect the final one. This is to the last connection. Now they have the rubber ring to keep water and dirt out, and if you look, you can see there's a bit of a notch here, and there's a correlating notch on the inside here. So you put it in there, press fit so it's nice and snug, and tighten up your ring to keep it tight. That has all of our connections connected to the lights. Now we have to take and run this wire down through and connect it to the harness, and then we should be done. So what I've done is I've taped this onto a giant long soft strap that the boys at Creations use for a fish tape. We're gonna fish this down into the engine bay, get it around the back, and see if we can drop the wires down so we can get them connected. Alrighty, that worked really well. Just fish it right through. We'll do some tweaking where the wire's gonna go through, but you can see we've got it running up through the bay. We'll disconnect this here, and we will connect our black and our red wires to the harness. So as I mentioned to you, there's one of these. You can see the wire's red. That's gonna be your power. And this one will be your ground. There's your ground wire, and we'll do the power lead next. Now that my hands are free, I'm gonna show you, you flick this, and it actually goes up into a locked up position there, right? So you can see that. Now you take your wire, put it in, and then clamp it tight. There you go. Both are connected. Technically, we should have it be able to fire up. Let's just take a look here. There you go, all buttoned up, done, and I'm really pleased. I think it looks really cool. The modifications we had to do for where we're going to place the lights was a little different, but hey, listen, I made it into our own vehicle, right? It's not something we're trying to copy other people. We wanted to have our own distinct look. The electrical side, just, you know what, I had to strip a little bit more wire off of the leads and play with the ground lead. Was a little bit not making super great contact, but overall it worked really well. So tucked everything away, and we're good to go. Lots still to come, so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.